when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. For the day I'd be Rangers for life. There's a great sense of pride that I feel deep inside as I'm watching the jurors, my father and son. And it's sure safe to say at the end of the game, win or lose, we will all follow on. But when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. Ever since I recall, I have followed football, and ingrained in my heart are the Rangers FC. Through good and the bad, times of happy or sad, it will always be Rangers for me. For when I was a lad, I was led by the hand down the Paisley Road West. I will never forget that beautiful sight of the red, blue and white. For the day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life. From that day I'd be Rangers for life.
It's always been a favourite of mine, the Paisley Road West. Folks, we had a caller phoning in with a withheld number. We don't tend to take them on the PO Community Radio from withheld numbers. Caller, I did speak to yourself. Your line had dropped. Sadly, I am unable to get back to you as I don't have your number. If it was you that was calling up the show, please call back. We'll get you on. You wanted to talk about the facial recognition cameras at football. So, Ian, staying on the subject of the facial recognition cameras, fans from all over Scotland are kind of pulling together on it to say it's a no-no, and it seems to be a lot of kind of ultras groups within the Scottish clubs. Would that make up the 5% you were talking about, Ian?
Probably. I mean, I think what they're trying to do is...
We've got a caller coming back in, Ian.
Right,
Can I bring one just now for you?
Yeah, of course you can.
Hello, caller. Welcome to PL Community Radio.
I tried to call you earlier, but the line went wonky. I apologise.
No, that's no.
Yeah, no problem.
I believe you want to discuss the facial recognition cameras.
Yes.
Yeah, can you introduce yourself, mate, if you don't mind?
Hello, I'm Craig from Paisley.
All right, Craig. Welcome aboard, mate. Thanks for calling.
Well, it's just when I heard your point about how they're basically going after the 5% of fans that they think might be causing trouble or whatever. I think the problem is that as soon as they get rid of that 5%, they're going to keep coming and coming and coming, because focus being funded the way they are, they've got to justify their own existence. And if they get rid of the, how can I put it, boisterous fans, they're going to come after different people. Like, oh, you might be in a bus or something drinking or whatever, they'll go after you. Oh, you're not wearing team colours or whatever. Oh, they'll go after you because of some rubbish, you know what the police are like. And
yeah,
also,
do you think? I mean, I wonder if it's the pyrotechnics seem to be the big thing at the moment. I'm just wondering if it's the groups that are sort of doing them. But I hear what you're saying. The question I would ask you is, do you think that the cost of this is going to give them value for money for what they're going to achieve?
No, but knowing how the police work, they'll try and create some issue. If the pyrotechnics go, they'll claim that people not wearing football colours are likely to get involved in disorder, or people that hang out in certain establishments get up to certain behaviour, or there's potential that, I don't know, people could get up to something. You know how they always like to say...
So this is where we come into the kind of slang, with the kind of football, kind of ultras terminology, where you've got scarfers, you've got non-scarfers, the facial recognition.
Yeah.
We'd probably be looking at the non-scarf and kind of the non-scarfer element of football support.
Yeah. What I think they would also try and do is they would also use their favourite police intelligence an oxymoron if there ever was one.
Yeah.
Where they'd say, "Oh, we've received intelligence that something could be happening at a train station." It's a load of rubbish, but they've got to justify their existence, so they make up X, Y, and Z.
See, this facial recognition, would it be standalone at the football grounds, or is it going to be compatible with any facial recognition that the police run or the intelligence services run? I mean, the amount of cameras that the police have got on their belts and their helmets and that at the moment, are all these things going to be compatible?
Well, that's an interesting point, because you've got them cameras. If you're in a petrol station, say, they have facial recognition cameras.
Yeah, and they've got number plate recognition as well.
Yeah, but that's an interesting one, because
see, I'm into all the conspiracy. I'm a big conspiracy theory, not me. I wonder, what is their end game with this? It's not just that's the reason I was saying the 5%. It's not just to catch a 5%. Now, you said there was 46,000 at Ibrox today, Chris.
Yeah, that's right. 46,000.
I wonder what the total was for the rest of Scottish football. I mean, we used to see there was as many Ibrox as what there was in the whole of Scottish football if the beast from the east wasn't at home. On a regular basis, that was happening. It wouldn't surprise me if the 46,000 that we had at Ibrox today was as many as was every other football ground in Scotland. Now, if
it wouldn't surprise me either. But what I'm talking about, I'm trying to talk numbers here, Chris.
So therefore, the facial recognition, if it was operational just now, is going to be flat out busy for the 46,000 at Ibrox. And then the rest is going to be spread over how many football grounds at length and breadth of Scotland?
Yeah, but then staying on numbers, Louise, if we're looking at 46,980 people, facial recognition already within Ibrox, surely you wouldn't be saying kind of 5% roughly of that 46,000 would be... I'm making life hard for myself here. The facial recognition cameras wouldn't be focusing on 5% of that 46,000, surely.
I said No, but the facial recognition is as you're entering. Now, once you enter the place and the facial recognition's got you, the facial recognition is then going to be able to pick you up wherever you are in the stadium, whether it's in the concourse or the actual stands. And I think that's how the facial recognition would work with all the CCTV. I mean, everywhere's blitzed with CCTV cameras at the moment. And this was the reason, was everything going to be compatible? Because is that facial recognition, is it going to follow you right down Paisley Road West? Is it going to follow you into the city centre, into Glasgow Queen Street Station?
Craig, do you believe that if facial recognition cameras were to be put on football stadiums around Scotland, it would have an impact on the numbers attending?
Yes, the more boisterous fans, the ones that generate the atmosphere, they would just go. And as part of the whole football experience, you need a sort of bit where you can go a bit loopy and let off some steam.
That's what football was invented for. I mean, football was invented so that, I mean, at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, when football was at its real peak, Saturday morning was part of your working week. So therefore, the whistle blew in the shipyards or the factory, wherever you work, the whistle blew at 12 o'clock. Probably still in your working clothes, you would go for a few beers and go for there to the bookies and go for the bookies to the football, and then make your way home. And that was your release valve. That was you. I can go and I can scream and shout. If I want to be, I can be a bigot for 90 minutes. I'm probably working with people from another faith 5.5 days a week, but I can go for 90 minutes. I can be a 90-minute bigot.
So, I mean, Craig, going back to what you were saying about kind of, you do believe it's going to have an impact on the numbers attending of the more kind of boisterous element of Ranger support or any team support. Do you think that I take it you're meaning kind of the ultras groups attached to the club?
The Union Bears.
So,
because the club, they want to have, obviously, all types of fans, because there'll be some people who want to go a bit loopy at the game, sing a song, there'll be some that just want to sit and watch the game. because some want to go with their friends and whatever. And one of the big selling points, I can remember a few years back, there was an advert, it was in the subways and newspapers, of join the unstoppable energy. There was BF1 that had a boy crowd surfing.
Yeah.
And a few weeks after, there was talk of the Union Bears and the Blue Order moving to the middle of the Drumlin. And there was this statement saying blah, blah, blah. Head of security, David Martin, said, this is a breach of health and safety, yada, yada, yada. And what he said was, because we could get involved with health and safety, blah, blah, blah. Now, at the time the statement came out, that advert was in the press, subway, you name it, everywhere. I know that.
Yeah, no, I mean, to my opinion is, I mean, health and safety and all the rest of it. Seating was an innovation, and Willie Waddle after the Ibrox disaster sort of said, right, this is the redevelopment of the stadium, and eventually we were going to go all seating, and they did it. And I think Aberdeen was the first all seater stadium in Britain. But seating killed the atmosphere at football. Years ago, as I said, you'd be going to the supporters bus, you have a few beers on the supporters bus with a few cans, back off the bus, get another couple of pints if you had the time, and then you were in. And as you went in through the turnstile, you were with your bus and any other mates and things like that, and you all stood together. So therefore, in a crowd, you had the confidence to start singing. Sitting down and you're maybe, you've met these people just because you've had a season ticket there for a couple of years, but you don't really know them that well. And if they're not of a propensity to sing, you're going to be in a non-singing area. So therefore the atmosphere, the Union Bears and the Blue Order and that was a great idea. Get all the young lads together and they'll bounce up and down and sing if you can't do the bouncy, you're on DLA or whatever it is. Yeah. And that, but the all-seating area was the sort of, that was them starting to control the atmosphere, and there's not going to be as much singing and shouting and dancing. Because you go to away games, the atmosphere at away games is better than the atmosphere you get at Ibrox in the main with the away support.
Yeah, I agree with you. In regards to the atmosphere at away games, there has been a couple of times recently where you see, just for a couple of minutes at Ibrox, you get the whole.
Oh, the Hibs game, was rocking.
But going back to what Craig's been saying in regards to kind of these cameras are going to have an impact on the kind of fans that are coming, the more kind of, we'll use the word kind of boisterous element of the
colourful,
boisterous, kind of, whatever you want to call it. I think it's a shame because a lot of these ultras groups try and give off the kind of image that they are a lot more boisterous than what they really are, in my opinion. The image that they're trying to put across there. But at the end of the day, they're just fans that are coming to watch football, enjoy themselves within their section, and try and kind of make points here and there. And it's a shame that a lot of these guys, and the majority of them, that do behave themselves within their section, are going to feel kind of victimised, literally kind of under the kind of watch fly of Big Brother.
Well, they've got the police. The police are there's more concentration of police with cameras on their headgear and on their jackets surrounding the Union Bears in any other part of the ground. And the stewards, they have got a real passion. I mean, I don't know if it's still the case, but I know there was a load of rabid Republicans used to work for the security at Ibrox. Yes. And hell bent upon getting people thrown out in their season ticket, taking off them. What the hell? Come on.
Craig, in regards to the facial recognition cameras, is there any other points that you'd like to kind of bring up at the moment?
Well, I also think that just be saying about various fans are sort of uniting against it because they see it as a threat to their match going experience, whatever. I think it's also time that a Rangers version of a certain organisation, shall we say, in the East End was formed, because much as they hate to say it, when they get involved, a good chunk of their fan base unites behind them, whereas when we get involved,